I'm live. It just popped up. It told me I'm live. Not only am I live, I'm in living color. You understand? I'm here, ladies and gentlemen.
That
I'm
was a
present.
show, man.
Don't peek out your blinds now, trying to see who it is. Leroy, you ever do that? Jehovah's Witnesses come, peek out the blinds. You want to make sure, or they.
It ain't even had to be the Jehovah's Witness. You know how the folks are. Something going on out in the neighborhood. You trying to see what's going on, but don't want nobody to know
Yes,
that you
yes,
you been.
absolutely.
I was watching. You know how they have the feeds come on, right?
Yes.
And I think it was TikTok. They had it was a police car, a set of police cars across the street, right? Why this dude? And this was, I guess, somebody they thought of this skit or whatever. He had the vacuum cleaner outside in the street,
So he could.
vacuuming so I can see what's going. I was like, people are just your people. That's your
That's us,
people.
though.
That's your people.
Oh, that's
That,
us. That's us.
that,
Yeah, I'm a create a reason to be outside. I'm gonna go wash the dishes on the clothesline. I'm gonna do anything I can do to make sure I know
but
what's going on.
I was cracking up. He had the vacuum cleaner out in the street like he was vacuuming.
Good morning, Epps. What's up, Black King? Good to see you, man. Make sure that you pull people in the room. Tell all your
Yes,
people,
sir.
all your friends, all your brothers. Tell everybody on in your circle of influence. Let everybody know that we are on. Johnny Bazemore, what's up, man? Good to see you, my guy. Thank you for joining. Do me a favor, do the same thing. Pull everybody that you know. You know how we say it in our community. Lottie,
Lottie
Dottie,
Dottie and
and
everybody.
everybody. Leroy is in the house today with his red cup. He's a part of the Red Cup boys. He's a part of the Red Cup boys. We all know what's in the Red Cup. We all know what's in the Red Cup. A part of y'all. There are many of y'all that have bought the lie. there are many of y'all that have bought the lie. This pristine, angelic image that Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. places out there, like he don't do no wrong, like he don't drink, he don't cuss, he
Ain't that
don't.
what they do?
He,
Ain't that what they do in Hollywood? They print it and sing. They give you the image that they want to give you, not what the image really
how
is.
what the image really is. Leroy really smokes. He drinks. Leroy smokes. He
Oh now,
drinks.
now I'm an
Somebody,
alcoholic. Huh?
somebody,
I'm an
take,
alcoholic.
somebody take this clip. Leroy smokes and he drinks and he
No,
cusses
y'all
and he
better
runs
not do
women.
that.
He runs women. He does. He does. Somebody take the clip and put it up on New Psalmist Baptist Church website. somebody tag Bishop Walter Scott Thomas. Not Junior. He ain't pastor yet. Not Junior. Senior. Make sure they know what kind of guy is over there at New Psalmist.
So one of my friends, right? From she's actually the best friend of my youngest sister, but they
Okay.
grew up together, and we're friends too, right? And
Okay.
she always messed with me, right? She's like, "Yeah, I know you got a couple kids down there on the
Oh
Eastern Shore."
yes, yes, yes. All of that. Listen. There are some who are absolutely. What's up, Dwight? Good to see you, man. Welcome to Reman University, Dwight. Yes, sir. Welcome to Reman University. Looking forward to working with you. Looking forward to inviting you, getting you through the welcome call and all those kinds of things, man. I'm just incredibly excited that you're a part. Listen, those of you that are watching today, I just want to be real clear that Leroy McKenzie Jr. I know the non-Hollywood version of Leroy McKenzie Jr. So Leroy comes on here and he says, because it makes for good TV. It makes for good TV. Leroy comes on here and he says, "Hey y'all, you'll never get me to cuss. You'll never get me to cuss. I do not cuss. I will not cuss. And I will raise my hand and say he will never do it. He has never done it, not in my presence. He will never do it. I don't know whether Dwight would know something different or not, but I'm telling you in my presence. Now, I don't know what's in the red cup. I cannot vouch for what's in the red cup. The red
It's
cup,
orange juice. It ain't gin. It ain't gin and juice. It's orange juice. I can't tip it over. I can't tip it over.
It's gin and juice. It's gin and juice in the red cup. So let's do a survey of the goodness and challenges of Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. Let's start there. Okay. We know he doesn't cuss. That's a good thing. He doesn't cuss. His mouth is pure. Right? We know he drinks. We know he drinks because there are several times that he comes on. You know that there are other cups to use other than the red cup. But the red cup, if you ever watch Kevin Hart, if any of you ever watch Kevin Hart, you know that the red cup boys, Kevin Hart's, and we know what's in their cups. You never catch Leroy pouring in the cup. He just shows up with the cup. All right. So we know he doesn't cuss, but he drinks. So that we're balanced right now. Look. Dwight said that's true. No gin, no strong. Well, no. I don't know. I can't tell. I know for certain because of my interaction with Leroy that he does not cuss. I know that. I can say that unequivocally. I cannot say that he doesn't drink because all I know is he shows up with the red cup. And there are some days that his language is a little slurred. So his language is a little slurred. What's up, Coach? We're talking about Leroy's drinking problem.
He is out, Coach. You come get your boy, Coach. I need you to show. You see, you done made me want to go get. You done made me have to go get the heavy. Don't make me have Coach show up at your door. Don't make me have Coach show up at your door.
I'm just saying there are some days. I'm not putting y'all put it together the way you want to put it together. I'm saying that on the days that he has the mug with the pretty flower pots, he doesn't have a challenge speaking. But on the days where he has the red cup, his speech is slurred.
So you saying I'm gonna be slurring my speech today?
Oh, he's gonna be slurring. Watch. Okay, so that's a good point. All of you, just do me a favor and watch how the show progresses. Watch how the show progresses. Watch him lose his words. Watch him say stuff that don't make no sense. Watch him say things that have no data backing at all. Just watch. Just pay attention. So we know that he drinks. We don't know he does not. He does not. That's balance. Look at him. Look at him. He can't take 30 seconds without pouring it. Yo, Coach, he cannot take 30 seconds without drinking whatever's in that cup. That my friends, alcoholism at its finest. Okay, so we know that he won't cuss. That's a good thing. We know that.
My God.
However, you thinking, right? Here's what we also know. I believe, at least, I don't know this, but I believe, me personally, I believe Leroy has a couple of children out there in that he will not acknowledge. Now in Remand, we require you to acknowledge the kids that you've sired. So so, look, Lala said good morning. You drinking juice today? No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
It's orange juice, Marlon. Thank you very much. It's orange juice.
Yeah, there's orange juice in it. There's orange juice in it. there's orange juice.
Oh my God.
Orange juice. So he drinks. He has kids that he refuses to acknowledge, and he doesn't cuss. So based on that, I want you guys to tell me what your position would
Oh
be.
my God. My face hurt. My face hurt. My face hurt.
We have a morality clause inside, right? And the brother. And here's my challenge before we get into his question of the day, right? He doesn't even. He's not. There's no discretion with Leroy. Like he waits to drink until we're on air. Like so, he comes.
Okay.
And like, hey, what was it we was talking about, Leroy? The line of questioning that we are in. Good morning, people.
Oh my God.
Good morning, people.
Oh,
Leroy done fell off the wagon. He fell off the wagon. I don't even want to know. I know he drinks. I know he has children. And he's not married. Now, no judgment. I have a son, my oldest son. I was not married to his mother. His mother and I are still great friends today. I'm assuming Leroy's children and Leroy's children's mother. Leroy's still friends with her, right? Yeah. So I just want to know what your position is with Leroy. Knowing all of this, I didn't want to put it out on social media. I guess I just did. But I want to know whether or not your opinion of Leroy changes because he drinks. But his claim to fame is I don't cuss though. Like I will not. That's his boundary. I will not cuss.
Okay. I see what we doing today. I see what we doing today. Okay.
Put a one in the chat if you believe. This is the last question I got for y'all. We know he drinks. We know he has children. We know he doesn't cuss. Here's the last thing. Do any of you believe Leroy smokes? Do any of you believe Leroy smokes? If you believe Leroy smokes, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't, and I'm not talking about cigarettes.
No, Coach, shit on podcast in Belvedere. Hey, Coach, what you know about Park Heights in Belvedere? What you know about Park Heights in Belvedere, Coach?
Coach, put it in the chat, Coach. Is this something? Have you seen him there? Have you seen him? Tramel wants to know how you run women and not cuss. Like he's embraced the fact that you don't cuss. He's embraced the fact that you run women.
You can't be on Park Heights in Belvedere and not cuss. I'm sorry.
There it is. He just admitted. That he cusses, he drinks.
I ain't admit nothing. You ain't see.
And I want to know. Tramel said he don't believe you smoke. I'm not talking about Newports. I'm not talking about that. Marlboro. I'm talking about the thing that you do this.
Now you got me rolling one with Snoop. He got me rolling one with Snoop and Cat Williams.
I'm asking.
Oh my God!
Any of you believe that Leroy McKenzie Jr.
Oh my God!
Smoke, or is his limit drinking? Like he drinks, he has kids, but he doesn't smoke.
Oh my God!
Tell me where you guys are with it. Tramel says nope. Anybody else? You know, here's what's crazy. No one's voting because everyone wants to uphold this image that they have of you, right? They know you come on here, you're a wise guy, very, very smart, right? Look, La, clean as a whistle. Look, Dwight said, wow, straight blasphemy. It's not blasphemy. If it's true, if it's true, I want to take it back to what Coach said. Somebody tell me about this here. Where is Park Heights and Belvedere? Somebody help me. I'm not from Baltimore. Somebody help me about where Park Heights and Belvedere is and what particular activity happens at Park Heights and Belvedere.
All I'm gonna say is church, liquor store, barbershop, and karaoke on the corner. I think that's all you need to know.
Okay, I understand. I understand. What I am saying to y'all is this, and I'll turn it over to Leroy for the question.
Oh wow!
This is my brother. While he is getting his life together, this is my brother. Don't come for him. The scripture says, when a brother is overtaken in a fault, you who are spiritual, restoring. My job isn't to judging. Your job isn't to judging. Your job is to restore him. White said, I know by the racetrack.
Yeah.
So I want to say good morning to everybody. Leroy, I'm gonna turn it over to you. Are you okay to be able to handle the next segment of our podcast? Are you okay to handle the next segment of our podcast? Well, do you need a little time?
Oh my God.
do you need a little time?
All right, bro. This is totally not. You came in hot today. Okay. That's how we carried it. For sure. That's for sure. Oh man. Oh my God. My hair hurt, man. All right, y'all. I did this yesterday, man. And I did this yesterday. And I need to know, y'all, I gotta know. Y'all gotta help me out with this one. All right. Which decade had the best slow jam music? And I'm gonna give you two choices.
Which
only two
had the most?
No, had the best slow jam music.
Best slow jam music. Okay.
One is the 80s. Option one is the 80s.
Okay.
And option two is the 90s. Which one had the better slow jam music?
Here we go.
Y'all team 80s or team 90s?
Which coach look coach look what coach did. Coach said 85 to 95. No, sir. No, sir. I know
he wanted both decades. No, coach. It's not how that works.
Just one decade, man. Somebody, Johnny Batesmore said the 80s. Dwight Robinson said off the rails. Where else? The 80s. So we got two people that say the 80s. Anybody? Look at Lala.
And see, I knew they were gonna go there, and I started to include the 70s, but I'm just like, no, I'm just going to use two, the 80s or the 90s.
I don't understand.
Yeah, you do. You understand it. You understand it perfectly.
why she just can't participate in the question as it is asked? Tramel said the 80s. Coach said the 90s by far.
Okay.
Tramel said the 70s are better than both, but we're not talking about the 70s.
Only and some people feel like that. Some people, and I can't disagree with it.
Yeah,
I can't disagree with it. I mean, because it's there, and I tell me and my friend Kendall that I do the show with, the movies with, we talk about this all the time. Music, entertainment, sports and entertainment. The best time was the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Okay.
I'm talking it's pinnacle of music. If you look at music, sports, entertainment, all of them, those 3 decades are the 3 great, I believe, and people may disagree, I believe those are the 3 greatest decades of us as talent-wise in everything.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Leroy, look at the question that Johnny
I know. Which year were those kids born, Doc?
Which year was your kids born? Which year was your children?
See, you got these folks participating. You got these folks participating in your shenanigans.
Which year were your children sired? When were they conceived? Are you going to answer the question?
Well, I would hope it wasn't the 70s or 80s, because that's when I was born in 69. So them kids would be my age. That'd be kind of hard to do. So if it's anything less than the 90s.
Leroy is 55. His oldest child is 53.
Oh my God.
Crystal Fendi Styles Clark, what's up? Here's what we talking about. There, I told you, look at it, y'all. That dude got a problem. That dude got a problem.
Oh my God.
He has taken at least a swig. We've only been on here 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
We've only been on here 20 minutes. Crystal, the boy got something in his red cup.
Marla, come get your boy. Marla, come get him right now. Come get him right now. I don't know what you fed him last night, but it's still lingering.
This is what we discovered today, Crystal. You're late. This is what we discovered today. Crystal said, "I'm too
Crystal. He calling me an alcoholic. Crystal. He calling me an alcoholic.
Listen. I'm not really attempting to call him anything. I'm simply looking at how many times the dude has tipped his red cup. He can't stop drinking. He's got children somewhere. He doesn't cuss, but he drinks and has children. And we found out that he
oh my God.
Rolling.
Crystal said she too young for this conversation. Oh my God. Come get your boy, Crystal. Come get your boy.
I had a meeting with my boss, sir. My bad. No problem. I mean, you right on time. I'm just saying we have discovered some things about Leroy that we didn't know. But I am committed to my brother. Like nobody come for him. We're gonna get him some help.
Hey, bro, do I need to remand book?
You hear him stuttering, y'all? I told you it was just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time before he can't get his words out. I told you what was about to happen. I told you.
You saying I need to remand book, bro? You said I need to remand book. I need to go back over it.
Let me rush because I can get to the I'm gonna get him out today. I need to rush to get this remand book. This is the answer.
My God.
Am I frozen? This is the answer to the life's challenges that you are experiencing. This is the answer. Reman book. If you guys don't have it, somebody purchase it for Leroy. You can go to www.theremanbook.com and get your copy for Leroy. Put in the note section when you purchase the book for Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. or in the name of, like, if you have someone struggling in those areas in your life and you just want to do something good for them in the name of Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., you can definitely do that. Tremel said he smokes with Snoop and Cat. Right? Crystal said, hey, first off, there's nothing wrong with a shot of Kahlua in his coffee. Well, it's not coffee because he's got the red cup. It's not coffee. Coach said he just cashed at me for 6 books in the name of Leroy.
See, Coach, you just feeding into these shenanigans.
Oh my God. He did. He did.
Oh shoot. Oh my God. Y'all, this is hilarious.
Yes, sir. I got it. I'll send those out immediately. I got it. Leroy,
this is hilarious.
Crystal said ain't nothing wrong with a little Kahlua in your coffee.
Oh my God.
Would you say would you? Yeah, I got it. Coach. Did you say show it? It's a cold brew coffee. Yeah, I get. Listen, y'all. I love him too. I do. I love that brother. So I don't like to see him fall either. I love him. I want to see him do well. This is just a moment in time where we have a brother who is experiencing some challenges, and you don't know what's underneath it all. And if he has to take a drink every 3 minutes to get through the podcast today, then he's got to do what he's got to do. We'll get it. Look. Can't even wait until I finish my comment. Oh my God.
Y'all are sick. I'll tell you, y'all are sick. Oh, y'all sick. Oh, y'all need help.
Oh, Leroy. Ready to work, man?
Let's go, bro. Let's go.
Anybody else have an answer to the question of the day? Let me give you the question of the day again. Here it is. Which decade had the best slow jam music, the 80s or the 90s? I think most people said the 70s. Even though the 70s are not on the ballot, most people said the 70s. And then I think after that, most people said the 80s.
80s, I think. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think so too. I think the 80s outdid, to me, the 80s outdid the 90s. To me, the slow music of the 80s had a lot more substance to it. The 90s was good because you had, Jodeci and all of them. Good. That's when all of them started coming out and everything. But it's something about the 80s era, bro. Everything.
Wait, Coach asked a question. Coach asked the question: who outdoes Jodeci?
Oh, come on now, from the 80s?
Yeah, he's asking.
I will put. All right, okay. So he said Jodeci for the 90s, 80s group.
Crystal said the 80s.
I'm trying to think of a group from the 80s that everybody would know.
Coach said 90s Luther.
Nah, Luther was in the 80s. Well, Luther was in the 80s and 90s, but you had, and I'm trying to think of groups, and in the I'm trying to think of who I saw up there. I had to look it up. I'm gonna put it in the. I'm gonna put it in the chat. I'm gonna put it in the comments there, Coach, because there's several groups from the '80s. Um, I'm thinking New Edition. I'm thinking who was towards the end of the '80s.
That's a good question, man. Jodeci's fire.
No doubt they fire. I'm thinking I would put in the '80s. I would put Surface's slow jams against Jodeci's slow jams. Any of y'all that know music and you know Surface could write a slow jam. That group could write a slow jam.
Coach said, nah. Coach said, what do you do with the 90s Levert?
Oh, 90s Levert, 80s. See, I know I got them. I can't think of them off the top of my head right now.
Coach brought receipts. Coach brought receipts.
Yeah, and yeah, Coach, you did. And I'm trying to think of because I'm thinking of the artist, and he's got some good groups.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking you had Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson. Coach, who you gonna put against Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, and Prince? Teddy Pendergrass.
So Leroy, Crystal brings up a good point. She said, "Are we talking groups or individuals?"
No, I'm talking music. I said I'm talking slow jam music. Period. So it could be a group or it could be an individual.
Just music.
Yeah. It's not a group or individual. It's actually the slow jam music, which music was better.
Yeah.
So
and before we go, what year were your children conceived? Before we put the hoodies up, we're about to put the hoodies up, but I want to know what year were your children conceived. We're not going to ask you who. That's your business. But we do want to know what year they were at least conceived.
Oh my God, I have no kids, so ain't no year. And these folks out here thinking I got kids I ain't trying to claim.
Leroy got children. He been running from that child support enforcement agency. And he cannot claim at this stage. He can't claim them. Not at this stage, right? At this stage, he's got to be able to say, you got to hold on to that lie. Gotta hold on to that lie, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's work.
Let's go, bro. Let's go. What we got today, man? What we got today?
We are still talking about rising voices, black men and the power shift in politics. We've been on it for a minute. Leroy, how do you characterize these last several conversations that we've had about politics, man? It is grown man talk.
Yeah. And powerful conversations. And these are the conversations that need to be had on a consistent and regular basis. So that's why we're here.
Yeah.
With the Grown Man Podcast. We tell y'all every single day.
Yeah.
If you want the Cotton Candy Podcast,
where that, Leroy?
5 blocks down. Look for the green awning and make a left. They right there. It's right there. You'll see it. You can't miss it. Absolutely. You cannot miss them. That's where those conversations going on. But here, this is grown man conversations here. We talk politics, we talk religion, we talk manhood. We're not afraid to have discussions about those things that are relevant to us as black men.
Absolutely.
As men. So it's important. And understand it. Bro, I don't know what you have lined up. Yes, but tomorrow is the first day of Black History Month.
It is.
So this, we gonna have some extra in because we blackity black in February.
Oh my God! And God done gave us an extra day. Oh my God! Listen, We gonna be black 29 days this year. 29 whole days.
Days.
We ain't gonna hear nothing but black. What's your favorite color? Black. How you like your coffee? Black.
y'all ain't gonna see nothing on the screen but blackness.
Black.
Y'all just go hear. Y'all just go hear our voice. It's just gonna be black.
This how we showing up tomorrow. We showing up like that tomorrow. We showing up blackety black, 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 black. Yeah, we
For
showing
real,
up
for real.
for real, right?
So get ready.
Yeah. And listen to me, y'all. Let me put a request out there to y'all. If there's some top topics you would like us to broker, some conversations you like us to have, if you want to appear on the Grown Man Podcast, y'all know how we do it. We have fun here. It's an enjoyable time. But when the hoodies go up, gotta wear your hood.
Yep, gotta have the hoodies on.
If you don't have no hood, go buy one before you come. Otherwise, we're gonna kick you off stage. You gotta have a hoodie on. We'd like to know if there are some subjects you guys want us to really tackle. We want to know. We want to be a well-rounded. Now, always remember, we are coming at this through a black male lens. We will always come at this from a black male lens. So if you want to know our position on certain topics, and they are traditionally topics that are addressed through a woman's lens, just know when we talk about it, we're going to talk about it from a black male lens. So put some respect on it. Don't get offended with us. Just understand that this is how this rolls. So, so we've had several conversations, Leroy. We've had several conversations. We've had conversations, about finance. We've had several conversations about, about where my notes go? About finance and wealth. We've had conversations about health and wellness. We've had conversations about fatherhood and family. We've had conversations about business and entrepreneurship. And now we're talking about justice, rights, and responsibilities. Tomorrow, Leroy is absolutely right. We begin a whole month about blackety black stuff. And I'm looking forward to this is one of the things I'm looking for. I consider myself to be a pretty intelligent guy. But the boy Leroy McKenzie Jr. is an encyclopedia of sorts. And I value what he brings. So I'm looking forward to having conversations, grown man conversations about particular figures, both historical and contemporary. I don't think that our contemporary figures get enough really street, right? For the work that they are doing. How about Dr. Dennis Kimbrough? We don't talk about him enough.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
There are some living legends, Leroy, that I'd like to broker conversations about for the next 29 days. I honor everything that King did, but he's not the only figure.
Correct.
Right.
Absolutely correct.
Sometimes,
in his speech, the only speech that he has is not "I have a dream."
Yeah. And that wasn't even the original name of it. The original name of it wasn't "I have a dream."
Right.
So, I really want to talk about some of the behind the scenes people.
For real. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That really made the civil rights. I want to talk about. I want to juxtapose Malcolm and Martin. I like to have a conversation about that. I'd like to talk about some people that you guys may not have heard about and I want to bring them to light. I am going to watch today the story of Madam C.J. Walker again. Right? Phenomenal series. about Madam C.J. Walker and her starting her business, right?
The movie or the documentary? Because the movie with Olivia Spencer in it, they
Yes,
played with you. Oh, that's a yeah, for anybody, for any entrepreneur that's on here and not entrepreneur. That is there's several movies, and maybe that's what we can do as a part of Black History too. Give individuals some great entrepreneurship movies that they must watch.
good idea, man. Good
You
idea.
know,
Yeah,
because it's some great, like you said, it's some great stories of
yeah, yeah,
modern day
yeah,
Black history
yeah,
makers
yeah,
that we don't talk about. But yeah, that movie with Olivia Spencer and boy Blair Underwood
yeah,
and
yeah,
even what's her name, Tracy Haddish, she was in it.
yeah.
Tiffany Haddish, she was in
Tiffany
it.
Haddish.
Yeah,
Tiffany.
Tiffany Haddish,
Yeah,
she
yeah,
was in it. So it's the great story of how Madam C.J. Walker came to be the first woman millionaire, not just first Black woman millionaire, the first the first woman millionaire, period.
and that's important too. Like when we come on here, we're always going to address things through a Black male lens, but that does not at all take away from the dopeness of our sisters. Madam C.J. Walker changed the game. She had marketing strategies before we know
Yes,
about marketing strategies, sales strategies
absolutely.
before we know
Yep,
about sales strategies. She just doesn't show up one day. She knows how to scale her business. She's got
yep.
sales agents
Come
across,
on now.
like stuff that we're doing today ain't new. I want to stand on the shoulders of the greatest of the greats who have done great work, um, and the Pinky Coles of the world,
Absolutely,
right? We
absolutely.
can't mention
Modern day Madam C.J. Walker,
modern
bro.
day Madam C.J. Walker, Pinky Cole.
Yes,
I
sir.
love that girl, right?
Yeah,
I love what her building,
yeah.
but
For real, for real.
you can't
For sure.
mention now. Pinky's doing phenomenally well, but her husband, both of them killing it. I love that
That,
dude. Like from
yeah.
Philly, he he
Is he
he,
from Philly?
he
Okay.
started in Philly,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Okay.
Brings the whole thing here. Now the dude is inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium. He's got two locations inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium selling cheesesteaks. You know,
That's huge,
cheesesteaks
bro.
Philly
But
thing.
ain't nobody talking about that though, bro.
Nobody talking about that.
Nobody talking about that.
Nobody talking about that. So I want to give some credit to the brothers and sisters who are contemporary. In fact, I, other than like we, please don't take this like I'm disrespecting y'all. Just hear my heart. I don't want to talk about Martin this year. Martin gonna get his due regardless. Martin got statues and he
Everything.
got an old day. Martin gonna get his. I think it's time for us to start elevating
Yes, sir. Yes,
individuals
sir.
that we don't hear about that are contemporary icons in the marketplace that are Black people. We got to start elevating. So that's what this month is going to be about. This month is going to be about identifying those individuals that are still alive, still living, and still killing the game, making it all happen. Um, I think we're going to do that. What say ye, Leroy?
No, and we'll make that. What I can do is I will make that the morning segment that you
Okay.
usually ask me. We'll give a person each day. We're going to talk about one modern day, Black history maker, for the month of February. That
Let's
that
do it.
people might not readily know. We can do that. We can do
Let's
that.
do it.
So
And I'm
yeah,
going to see if I can get a couple on here.
yeah, absolutely. That'd be
Right?
phenomenal. Yeah.
Get a couple
Yeah,
on
we
here.
know you got the connections and everything like
Yeah,
that.
I got a
You
little
know,
clout, and so
yeah,
I'm gonna
he
see what
got
I
some
can do.
juice. He
Uh,
he got some juice, y'all.
who
He
got
got some.
that's the movie? Who got the juice? Who got the juice?
Yes,
That dude
sir.
Tupac was crazy in that
Yeah,
movie.
that'd be phenomenal. Yeah,
Tupac
yeah.
was crazy in that movie. So yeah, I wanna give some credit to where credit is due, um, and celebrate one a day. So we got 29 men and women that we will be paying homage to that are either still killing the game or They genuinely are more contemporary than some of our figures that we've
Yeah.
been talking about since the 60s.
Yeah. Ones
Right?
that you might never readily know about, that you
Yeah,
kind of be like, oh wow, they doing that.
yeah,
Yeah. You
yeah,
know.
yeah,
So
absolutely, absolutely. All right, y'all. So let's talk. Let's talk about. We're talking about rising voices, black men, the power shift in politics. We're attempting to kind of get everyone to understand the importance of black men participating in the political process. Dwight Robinson said, "Game breaker." Patrick Timman, what's up, man? Good to see you, my guy. Thank you for hanging out with us. Want to make sure that each and every one of us understand the importance of black men in daily life, family, everything that we've mentioned, finance, family, politics. We black men have to be included in order for the needle to move. The needle does not move without black men moving the needle. I hate to say it that way. I really don't. It's just the truth. That if the needle is going to move in a significant way, we are celebrating every sister that's doing it well, every child, but black men have to be included in that process. We've talked about finances, we've talked about health and wellness, we've talked about business and entrepreneurship. We've talked about those things today and yesterday. We talked about justice, rights, and responsibility. We're today talking about justice, rights, and responsibility. And I do want to kind of make sure that there is some context even to today's conversation. What is this? Even to today's conversation that I want to make sure helps us. Yesterday, we mentioned the significant divide, Leroy, in those that are um, incarcerated. We are 13, 14% of the population, yet overwhelming majority of us are incarcerated, right? We talked about the fact that black neighborhoods are over policed, right? And wherever you go looking for trouble, you're going to find it. It's not that white neighborhoods are less criminal, it's that white neighborhoods are less policed. So if you find, you can go to the local white frat house and find all kind of violation, underage drinking, the sniff, right? And now, uh, pills and things of that nature, are happening inside white communities. And in fact, this is what I've noticed, Leroy. We'll talk about this for a minute, man. I've noticed the opioid pandemic or epidemic did not reach points of awareness until it started infiltrating and invading white spaces.
Yep.
As long as our people were dying from it, it was okay.
It was cool.
It was cool. When Raheem was dying from it, it was okay. It was cool. When Mary, Kate, and Ashley started, now we got a problem. We got to do something about this. It's an epidemic. No, it was an epidemic before Mary, Kate, and Ashley died from it. It was an epidemic when Raheem died from it. When Shaniqua died from it, right? It was an epidemic then. There seemingly isn't. I think it speaks to this justice, rights, and responsibilities issue. There doesn't seem to be a value on Black life in the same way that there is a value on white life.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and talk about that, man.
Nah, bro. And here's something, and I don't know if you've watched, over the last, let's say 10, 15, maybe even 20 years, if you've watched the movie Roots again. I watched it.
I have not. I probably should.
And if you can, because it's tough, because I watched it as a, as a young person, but I watched it only once, and maybe a little bit of it as an adult, because
Okay.
there's a different view that we
Right.
have it now, being older and watching it. But when I watched it as an adult, there's a scene in there when there's a captain and his Lou Grant. Remember the guy, what's his name? The guy that played, I think his name, I don't know if his name is Lou Grant, but he played in Mary Tyler Moore. Because there was a lot of folks that became, that their faces and everything. I just can't remember. But him and the father from the Waltons,
Okay.
the guy that's Lou Grant, he's the captain of the ship. This is the
Okay.
first ship that's going to pick up the first shipment of slaves. And the father from the Waltons is the kind of like director or whatever, because he's the one that's controlling all of the organization of getting the slaves on the ship or whatever. But he's
Yes.
talking to the captain, and he's telling them about what they're getting ready to do,
Okay.
with bringing the slaves on there, because the captain he's not feeling good about it. He's like, this seems to be wrong and everything like that. And the father from the Waltons, he says this thing, and I don't have it verbatim or anything like that, but in essence, what he talks about is seeing us and seeing the slaves as inhumane, not being human.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, this is where it might not have been the origin of it, but it was definitely shows you the mindset that they had in doing what they had to do. And in our modern society, they have to have a reason to see us as inhumane. So all of the things that we're talking about here, the injustices, the rights that we have, we were the original Constitution, y'all. We were only considered 3/8 of a person.
3/4.
Yeah,
3/4 of a.
they only considered us 3/8 of a person. Didn't even consider us as a human being. So that should tell you something about what the forefathers thought of us. They didn't even see us as human beings and
Yeah.
didn't want to acknowledge that.
I want to push on something for a moment, because Coach brings up something that I always address, and that is
Okay. Oh,
that
yes.
a
Yes,
part
you're
of our
right.
language
That
has
language.
changed.
Yeah, that is
Right?
true. Absolutely.
We were never slaves.
Correct. That's
We
true.
were
Very true.
enslaved.
Enslaved. That's true.
Right?
Absolutely correct.
These were enslaved African people. These were not slaves. And the reason why I wanted to highlight that, and I'm glad
Mhm.
that Coach
Yeah,
brought it
that he
up,
said
is
it.
we got to
Absolutely.
change our language, because if we don't change our language, we are participating
Correct.
in the very language that they use to enslave us, to make us
Correct.
non-human or inhumane, right? So that's a thank you for that, Coach. I
Yeah.
absolutely agree with you. Um, that we need to ascribe
Hmm.
a humanity, and even in Latin, a sense of imago Dei. Imago Dei
Hmm.
means in the image of God, right?
Hmm.
So if
Hmm.
every person would simply be viewed as bearing the image of God, we would cease to do a lot of the things that we are doing to African people. Members of the African diaspora would not be treated in the ways that we are being treated currently. So recognize this, and a part of we talked about this some time ago when we were talking about voting. The whole 3/4 of a person issue had to do with how they counted votes. So they didn't
Hmm.
even count. Yes, we were viewed as 3/4 of a person because they only gave us 3/4 of a vote, right?
Hmm.
So what they're literally saying is, when Leroy cast his vote, when I cast my vote, it don't count as a full vote. It
Yep.
counts as 3/4 of a vote, right?
Yep.
So we want to make sure 3/5, yeah, 3/5
Yeah.
of a vote.
Right.
So I want to make sure that we understand the value of all of the history, because if we don't honor what has happened, then we are destined to allow on repeat the very
Hmm.
things that have taken place. Now, I do not think uh I think it's important that we be aware of it. I don't think that it's important to regurgitate it every day. I think that at some point we're aware of it so that we can move forward from it, right? And that we can't create a victimized mentality for the rest of our lives based upon what our fathers, forefathers, foremothers went through. And the reason for that is because if you create a mentality that says I am still a victim, then you'll never strive to be anything more than where you currently are. I think it's important for you to contextualize your life with the understanding. And this is the way I do it, Leroy. I don't know how you do it, but this is the way I do it. I intentionally have in my view, of which now my mother is a part, I have in my view to do this for my ancestors.
Mhm.
I work hard for my ancestors. All of the work that they put in can't be in vain as
Yeah.
long as Donald Morton is alive and does the work. I stand on the shoulders of our ancestors, who, by the way, for everyone who thinks we got it hard, by the way,
Phew, come
uh,
on, bro.
yeah, you may have it hard, but you ain't got it as hard
As
as
you think you have it.
you think you have it, right? I don't want to minimize what we're dealing with. What we're dealing with is significant, but what they dealt with, we're going to talk about that, man. What they dealt with in comparison to what we're dealing.
Here's the thing about that though, bro. And I say this to people too. When it comes to justice, when it comes to our rights and those that we talk about with us as men and our voices, and our power that we have, understand this, that back then the rights that our ancestors fought for
Yes,
back then and what they had to endure.
yes,
I was watching this TikTok this morning, and it had, and remember and I don't know if you remember the young lady, the little girl. She was 6 years old. The little girl that had to be escorted to school
yes,
when they down
yes.
in Louisiana. She was on the Daily Show, or not the Daily Show, whatever that the other guys. She was on current recently or whatever they
Okay.
showed it, and he was interviewing her and he was asking her what was going through her mind that day and how that actually came to be that she was part of that integration of schools.
Yes,
And she was saying that they came to their house, talked to her parents and asked her parents about how would they feel about having their daughter go to this school that they were going to be integrating.
yes,
And she was saying she was only 6 at the time. And so what she remembered was going to school that day. She had to have marshals, US marshals, escort her into school.
yes,
She said when her and her mom got to where the school was and they came around the corner, there were people outside, of course, protesting her to be able to go to this school,
yes,
throwing things
yes,
at her,
yes,
at her parents. And this is what she said that absolutely blew me away. She said they went inside, they took her and her mom to the principal's office. Do you know she said that the people that were outside came inside and took their children out of that school
mm,
that day? She said she wound up being I think she said for that whole class year, she wound up being one student taught by one teacher that came in from, I think she said from Boston or Massachusetts somewhere to teach her.
wow,
She said, and the teacher, she said she loved that teacher. She was like a second mom to her. This is the importance of teachers, y'all. She said this one teacher that was white, she was white.
yeah,
She said she was the reason why she loved going to school and education. So we got to understand that what we going through, it ain't nothing compared to what our ancestors have gone through
it
so
really is.
that we could have what we have
Yeah,
today.
yeah. And if you're I guess from my perspective, if we're going to do anything significant, a why is important. And one of the whys that I have is I want to make my ancestors proud.
Yeah.
I'm not going to squander my life when they have given me such an opportunity. Everything that they fought for, bled for, died for. Yeah, I'm gonna give myself. I'm gonna give myself to that. I'm gonna give myself to the struggle. This is my piece of the struggle. My piece of the struggle is to help Black men reach their full potential.
Mm-hmm.
That's my piece to the struggle,
Mm-hmm.
right? I want to make my ancestors proud in this part, this piece of the fabric that I have in the American dream, right? And a part of that means being able to have conversations like this so that we have context. I listen, I know police brutality, right? And I know that they killing us. But that Edmund Pettus Bridge,
Yeah, I was going to go there next. Yep. Yes, sir.
right? The people that died there, the people that were uh hosed in their lives,
Yep.
dogs.
Yep.
Yeah, y'all. So I also think it's important because usually when we have these conversations, we talk about how far we have not come. I think it's important to have a conversation about how far we've come.
We have. Yeah. How far we have
Those
come.
people
Absolutely.
that you know gave their lives, I want them to know, and I want us to know they didn't give their lives in vain. We are much better off as a result of the Malcolms, the Martins, the Jessies. I don't care whether you don't like Jesse, the Jessies of the world, the Hammonds, right? Like we have uh we've made significant progress because of the work that those brothers have done. John Lewis. Like you for us to say, man, we ain't made no progress is a slap in the face to every single person who gave their lives for the struggle. I can't let us get away with that. And I know our interest is to go further, and we should, but we can't go further without stopping, pausing, and acknowledging the significant work that people did to give me an opportunity to be on the Grown Man podcast with Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., and nobody can stop me. I think that's important, right? So we want to talk today about, because I want to give some solutions, Leroy.
Mm.
What should we be fighting for? Right? We can come on here and we can piss and moan and talk about all the things that are wrong, and we will piss and moan about the things that are wrong. Yeah, we will. Leroy's gonna drink. I'm a sit over here in the pureness of who I am, right? But we're both going to bring awareness to the things that have happened. Leroy, what I want to talk about some things. I want you to tell me how they exist in Baltimore. And if Lala is still on, I don't know whether she knows. I'd like to hear from everybody in your respective states how these things play out. Um, how does or is there mandatory sentencing in Baltimore? Or does the judge have any discretion in the sentencing guidelines that he has when he gives a sentence from the bench?
But I think that varies. I think there may be some instances where they have that discretion where they can do it, but there's some that just kind of federal, kind of state and federal, depending
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the,
yeah,
the,
yeah,
the
yeah,
depending on what the charge is or whatever. I'm thinking that the judges have, and that's probably every state where the judge has some discretion, but then they just some, hey, it's just mandatory, like that three strikes that Clinton put in there. That, yeah, there's no judge that can say, well, yeah, you got three strikes, but we still not gonna do. No, it's three. Boom. That
yeah,
is what it is. There ain't
yeah,
nothing we can do about it. That is what it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
So I think that's gonna depend.
What's your
But
position on that, man? The three strikes, mandatory minimums.
say that again.
What's your position on that?
Well,
Mandatory minimum.
I don't know if I necessarily like it because, as we talked about, man, there's when we are over police, so of course there's going to be more emphasis on it. That's going to occur more so with us than anybody else
Yeah,
because we're the ones that are being stopped, that are being arrested more, that are being, kind of targeted
yeah,
more. So of course you're going to have that, and we've got to understand too when it comes to justice, when it comes to the laws, that a lot of the laws that we see, a lot of the laws that get input, they are intended to get a certain result, y'all.
I need you to stay right there, man. Stay right.
Understand that. Yeah, because it's if we talked about the pipeline to prison. We talked about they're building prisons now for those young boys that are in third grade. And so, in order to be able to keep that population going for the prison that they're building until that third grader gets to that age where the laws are pointed against him to get him to be a part of that system that they need him to be in, those that are of age have to fill the void as it goes along. It's a cycle. And we have to understand the cycle. This is chess, y'all. When you understand the game that we're playing, that we are in, and you understand the moves that are being made, you have to have counters to those moves. You have to understand, hey, if they're doing this, what do we have to do? Like you would just say, what do we need to be doing? If we know that one of the things that we talk about that we fight is child support for men with child support. What does that mean? In order for you not to have to fight child support, that means you got to make better choices so that you aren't in the situation where you have to necessarily
On the
pay
front
child support.
end. On the front end, listen to me, my guy. Don't miss this. This is my phrase. It's gonna sound funny. Just hear me. Don't misplace your Peter. Don't
Hmm.
misplace your Peter. Don't put your Peter in a place that's going to yield you children with someone that you really don't know whether you're going to be with them or not.
We told y'all this is grown man conversations,
It's
y'all.
grown man conversation.
It's
So
grown man conversations. You have to be.
I like what? Yeah, don't misplace your Peter. I'm trying to. Yeah,
we,
don't.
we keep it real here.
Yeah, yeah.
Understand, fellas, that the young girls, young women get told every single day, be choosy about who
Very
you.
true,
Who,
bro. Very true.
we're telling you, and here's what we've got to understand, brothers. Every woman that you lay with, if this ain't somebody you willing to have a child with, you should not be laying with them
That is
because
right.
it can happen.
That is right. And so
It can happen.
forget your pull out game, my guy.
Right,
Right, all that nonsense. I know when to pull out. I,
right,
I,
right.
I wore my Jimmy. Whatever it is. Listen, man, have enough value for yourself, bro. The thing that makes us different from the animals is we can make choices,
Correct. Yep.
right? So
We have discretion.
you have discretion. You don't have to sleep with her. I know she looked good. I know she walked by you looking at her behind all that. You don't have to. You don't, come on, man. At a certain stage and a certain level in life, you got to understand that who you are and what God's called you to do takes precedence over some of these behaviors that you've been exhibiting, because it keeps you away from, right, what God has ultimately called you to do. So you don't have to sleep with her, and you didn't slip, you didn't make a mistake. I hate the narrative, Leroy. Um, and I just made a mistake. You didn't make a mistake, man. You went through a series of choices and steps before you ever entered her body, right? She called you. Hey, you got a minute? Your answer got to be nah. Nah. She said, so on your way, you could have interrupted the process at any moment. You could have interrupted the process at any moment. On your way there, you could have turned around. On your way up to the door, you didn't have to knock. When she opened the door, you could have saw her and be like, "Yeah, I'm going home."
And I know you the Bible scholar on here, bro. But there's a passage in the Bible that says there's no way of temptation that is. I can't remember
the common to man. God is faithful, who will not tempt you or suffer you to be tempted above your ability, but will with that temptation also make a way of escape.
I knew you would know it. I knew you would know it. I knew you would know it.
He can give you a way out. But so you have to ignore that way out that he's continuing to give you. You have to ignore that. There's a reason why, and we so dumb. There's a reason why your car ran out of gas, my guy. There's a reason why your motor exploded, my guy. There's a reason why your tire went flat. Like all of these signs are trying to get you to see God saying, look, I've got something for you down the road, and the decision that you're making right now is going to impede, it's going to slow down everything I'm asking you to do. So bro, you can't be so horny, right? That you can't control, you ain't got no D control. You have to have some D control. Y'all know what D control? Y'all want me to say it? Y'all want me? Leroy, what's D control?
I can say it, but I ain't saying it on here though. That's grown. That's too grown for here.
Talk, right? We have to have some control. So what we're saying to you is that you have to participate in your own deliverance, my brother. You have to participate in your own deliverance, right?
And we get it. The laws are not the laws. I'm gonna say it again, y'all. The laws are not pitted to be for you when it comes to these things in life, whether it's child support, whether it's even if you want to go talk about drugs, crack cocaine versus powder cocaine.
Yeah,
it's not the same. It's not going to be the same. It's set up for the injustices to happen, for our rights not to be there.
Yeah.
And it's their intention to keep doing whatever it is. Jim Crow may not be here any longer, but there's still ways that they've just created a newer version of Jim Crow.
Absolutely.
And they're going to keep on doing those things because
Absolutely.
they have to find out new ways in order to be able to keep us from our vote mattering, our rights mattering, and us as human beings mattering.
Yeah, for sure.
So our choices, you talk about solutions. The first solution is we have to make better choices.
Yeah. That's on our side. Now on our side, right. We have to make better choices, right? Let's talk about for the next 5 minutes, then we're going to take the hoodies down. I have an 11:30 meeting, and then we've got a 12 p.m. boarding.
Cool.
Right.
Yep.
Tremel said, at the end of the day, we got caught up in it when we yield our lives to those things. Yeah.
Yep.
Tremel says, in the Black communities, Black boys aren't told they are valuable like young ladies used to be told.
Yeah.
Somebody says, let's talk grown man talk. Yeah, we got to talk grown man talk, right? Somebody said, come on with it. Yeah, y'all just nasty, boy. Y'all just y'all want us kicked off the air. Y'all want us nasty. These are the kind of conversations that we need to have. I agree with y'all. Thank y'all for giving us space to
Yeah.
have mature conversations, right? Um, I want to run down a couple of things and we'll talk about them tomorrow.
Okay.
Um, One is I think we should repeal the system. When we talk about the system, ways in which politicians can commit to us with our agenda. Here's one of the things that's on our agenda: repeal mandatory sentencing. Repeal it. I want judges to be able to have discretion from the bench, and I want it codified as a matter of law.
Do you know how that came about where they gave mandatory sentences? Do you know how what kind of got that going where they said, hey, you know what, let's start making mandatory sentences. But maybe I'm answering my own question when I say that that's part of what I was saying, with the way that the adjustment and the movement of Jim Crow. They
Yeah,
can't say this, but they can make mandatory.
yeah,
Now they
yeah,
make mandatory
yeah,
sentences
yeah,
as a part
yeah.
of that. It's the new version of Jim Crow.
Yeah, it's the new version of Jim Crow.
Mhm,
And some people might say it's justified. Like
mhm,
when you continue to commit crime after crime after crime after crime,
mhm.
like it's something you're not getting,
Right,
right?
right,
And
right.
so those that create these laws, even though their intention is wrong in the way that the reasons for which they're creating these laws, they can justify by saying, hey, how many times they get a chance to do it? How
Yeah,
many times they get a chance to do it without there being some
right,
substantial consequence? So it goes
right.
back to what you said, brother, and what Tramel has said, right? Let's brothers, let's not get caught up. You got to know how to play the game. We know the game is stacked. You got to know how to play the game. So number one, repeal mandatory sentencing. Number two, increase the quality of public defenders.
Mm,
Right? I don't know whether that means having more public defenders so that public defenders can actually pay attention to the specific clients that they have.
mm.
But, a public defender who gets a case 5 minutes before he's got to show up at trial, yeah,
It's
that's
not
not
good.
cool. That's not
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Right?
But that goes to what we were talking about before. When we make better choices, that means the public there aren't as many cases for the public defender. We decrease the number of cases for the public defenders, which
Agreed.
means we don't need as many public defenders. So yeah, so
Agreed.
that's on both sides of that. So yeah,
Agreed.
definitely.
Agreed. Um, let's deal with some of the barriers to reentry, right? Talking about real solutions that we can talk to public officials about, those that are running for office. Number one, believe it or not, didn't used to be this way. I don't know how it is in Baltimore. I don't know how it is in Maryland. It used to be when you went to prison, you could actually get a degree in prison.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that way anymore everywhere.
Really? Okay. Okay.
It's not that way anymore everywhere, right? So, and being able to qualify for student loans, so on and so forth, once you get out of
Mm-hmm.
prison, being able to qualify for federal aid to be able to go to
Mm-hmm.
college, those kinds of things. Some of the reasons why guys aren't in college, not all of them, but some of the
Mm-hmm.
reasons why guys aren't in college and don't get an opportunity to better themselves is because they don't qualify for some of the aid that
That's
someone
okay.
who doesn't
Right.
have a
Correct.
a felony on their record would qualify for. Secondly, did you know? I remember years ago there was this push that barbers wouldn't be able to get certifications. That nail
Yeah, I think I remember hearing. I think about that. Yeah, that you couldn't
right,
get it certified as a barber. Which
right. So professional certifications were off limits. I want to remove that barrier. If a guy
hmm
coming out of jail, uh, if he wants to start a barbering business, remove that. Remove the barrier. Now, bruh, as you start the business, you got to do right. Like you got to do
for
right,
sure, for
right?
sure.
Because again, a part of what we don't recognize often is that when we do wrong, we make it difficult for everybody else, right?
Correct.
So they create these laws based on this small group of people who ain't doing right by the laws that they've established. So they create these other laws that are far more consequential and punitive in nature. Housing, right? When a guy comes out of jail, where he gonna live?
Yep.
He can't live with his girl because she's on public housing. Because she can't have somebody who's sold drugs or whatever the case may be. Let's remove that. We got to have black men in the home. It's his best place, right? Being able to receive public benefits, right? Let's make sure that there are no barriers to that. And let's make sure that every man that comes out of prison, he has a right to vote. Because when you don't deal with these areas, and we'll talk about these tomorrow in depth, but when you don't deal with these areas, what happens is it is essentially you penalizing him again. You're penalizing.
Giving him no option but to go back to what he knows and what he's used to doing.
No option other than to go back to what he knows. Now, on our side, guys, we're saying that these barriers exist and that there's a way to come up with a creative way to start business, to do something so that you don't go back to jail. You don't have to go back and do the same thing you used to do. You've got to master something new, and mastering something new requires you to be inept at something at the beginning. The only reason you go back to doing what you did is because you're very good at it. You know the rules of it, right? So what we're saying is let's try something different. It's something that, is going to be challenging up front. But you can't continue to do it's double jeopardy when you penalize these guys over and over again for the same crime. You can't do that. You penalize him, he paid his dues, he went to jail, did his time. Now you don't want to give him, he can't qualify for a house. Right. You're not serious about reentry if you can't make it possible for a man to get back on his feet. Yeah, you're not serious about reentry, and you're violating the law. The law of double jeopardy says I can't penalize you twice for the same crime. I can't penalize you twice for the same crime. So if I committed a crime, I did my time. When I come out, there should be a blank slate for me. Yeah, you can't keep penalizing me for the same thing. So when you're talking with politicians, these are the conversations I need y'all to be having with them. Our sisters are going to have conversations that deal with our sisters. They're going to have those conversations. Parents are going to have conversations about kids. But nobody but you is going to have a conversation about you.
And here's the thing also, pay attention, because we're in this political season, campaign season right now. This is why we have to be attentive, and we have to learn and listen to what these politicians that are saying, that are running for office. Are they saying or talking about those issues? What politician do you hear talk about housing for reentry? What politician do you hear talking about certification for black men reentry? What politician do you hear talk about public benefits, about voting? Which ones are speaking your language?
Absolutely.
Understand when you hear, or if you don't hear them talking in your language, then you have to begin to, get them to say, hey, these are the things that I need you to address. These are the things that we need, that I need. You can make it personal, that I need, because there are plenty of brothers that need these things that we don't just list it off. And knowing what your rights are when it comes to these things.
Yeah.
And then pushing for those for those politicians that don't say, hey, like they told Donald, we don't have an agenda for you. We're not addressing this. Okay, then you don't have my vote. Absolutely. And matter of fact, I'm going to make sure that those others that are like me, those that may want to be barbers, and those that are barbers, I'm going to talk to all the barbers, because I'm trying to get my barber certification, and Absolutely. I can't, because you will not put into legislation those things that allow me to be able to do that. Absolutely. Yes, I made a mistake. But I did my time for what Absolutely. It was that I did. And Absolutely. Now I'm trying to do right.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man.
Great conversations. Hoodies off.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
It,
man.
I hope you guys enjoyed.
We
Uh,
started off rough. We started
we
off
did
rough.
we did start off rough. We started off
like,
the exact way we
what,
started off.
what Tina trying to say? So like it rough. And like it's smooth, but y'all know we don't do anything easy around here. Rolling on a river.
So for those of you that don't know, many of the policies that we talked about today are policies that would impact Leroy McKenzie. Right? So this is my way of giving back. Like we got to protect him, right? He, weed is legal now in many places, so he's in trouble,
Oh
right?
my god.
In trouble. But we got to take care of child support. Like he has to take care of the kid.
What Cat Williams say? 19. Please explain it. He said 19 felonies and no convictions. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, what's the difference between a felony and
Right. Yeah. Cat's a little fried. Yeah. If you got 19, if there are 19 felony charges, but you've never been convicted of any of them, that's a conversation. I mean,
so felony is a charge. Is just another term for charge.
Well, no, it
Okay.
depends. Like a felony is just a classification, right?
Okay.
But if he has been charged with felonies but was never convicted,
Mhm.
then felony is just that's just a classification of a charge.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't necessarily mean he was convicted. But if he's got
right,
convictions, if he's got felonious convictions on his record, then yeah, bruh. like that's not a selling point, Cat. It's not a selling point. So we want y'all to do us a favor, do me a favor, do Leroy a favor, push this. If you don't have the flyer, I'll send it to you. Just DM me, DM Leroy. We'll send you the flyer. Push it out to your friends. Push it out to everybody. Get people to sign up on YouTube, because that's where we really want to grow our audience on YouTube. Have people to follow us over there, and maybe
we want 1,000 subscribers by June.
1,000 subscribers by
June.
And we can do it. So let's make sure we'll put up tomorrow. We'll put up if you go to Donald Morton Remand, that's where the podcast is currently being viewed. Get as many people over there as possible. Maybe we'll set up a YouTube page specifically for the Grown Man Podcast. We may do that. I'll talk with our management team about that so that you can see what's best to be able to do. Hey, y'all, I love and respect you. Leroy, where you cup?
Yes. I'm done though. My cup empty now.
I know.
Yeah, my cup empty now. So
yeah, cup was running over. Now his prayers fill my cup, Lord, and it's not. It is not with communion. This bring a whole gin and juice cup full of gin and juice.
He said God didn't turn. He turned the water into wine. This is wine in the water.
No, it ain't wine in the water. No, sir. That my friend was a drink.
Real quick, TikTok. It was this lady. They did a skit, but this lady's in the car, and I guess her husband was a cop or something like that. So he has his uniform on. So he pulls over, and he comes up. He said, "Ma'am," because she has a drink in a brown bag, right, in the brown paper bag. All of us know what the brown paper bag be, right? So he's like, "Ma'am, what is that you drinking?" And so he said, "Have you been drinking?" She's like, "No." She got this big thing, brown paper bag. He's, "Ma'am, what is that in you?" And she's like, "It's water." And so the cop takes it and he takes a sip and he's like, no, ma'am, this isn't water. He's like, this is wine. She's like, Lord, you did it again.
You did it again. You did it again. God, you so
It's
good.
funny. It's funny.
You
It
did
is.
again. Listen, y'all, we love and respect y'all. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace.
Deuces.